What's up, everybody? BlueGabe. Welcome to the J.W. Corbett in South Florida. We're camping, folks. We brought our tent. We brought all kinds of stuff. We got some crawfish traps, which we never really catch crawfish. We catch everything but crawfish. We got us some firewood. We got fishing poles. We got our Gator coolers. We got a BIS battery. This thing right here is going to do something awesome tonight.
Got salsa.
And Luke's even got salsa. The coolest thing about this little camping spot is we already got us a little fire pit right next to a little fishing hole. And right there we can put our tent. I mean, that was just meant to be. Look at that perfect little area.
This is so good at making a fire.
He's already thinking about a fire. And we got some firewood pre-cut. So Jake is with a good friend of ours, Dylan Folgerman, and they're duck hunting today. Luke wanted to do something fun. Crystal loves camping. I love fishing. So this is a win for all three of us. We're in the J.W. Corbett. It's a 60-something thousand acre management area. You can come out here camping. You can come out here deer hunting and turkey hunting and whatever else you want to do. It's open to the public, but there are a lot of rules. If you're interested in where we're at, just Google J.W. Corbett. Luke cutting this palm frond down just made me realize something that's very, very sad. We didn't bring no marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Who goes camping and doesn't bring marshmallows? The heck with s'mores, we didn't even bring marshmallows. So we're gonna set up camp. This ain't exactly roughing it. I know right now hardcore camping's trending on YouTube. We're not hardcore camping, we're fun camping. We're sort of like glamping. Well, would you look at that? We got somewhere to sleep. Out of the mosquitoes.
This tent even has a porch. We're gonna have a whole front porch. We haven't used this tent since our last camping video.
We've only used it once.
I know. That was a fun trip.
Look, that's not as easy as they make it look on TV, is it? We should probably just use a lighter, huh?
Yes. I'm still trying.
I've got my new grill we got right here. You just beat it in the ground with a hammer, set that on there. Got some charcoal. Just because all the wood I have is pine. We don't want to cook on pine, so I brought charcoal. That BIS battery is hooked to something over there that you're going to think is super cool in just a little while. Y'all, they're both taking a break now.
You can't pass up chips and salsa. Tell them what you just told me. If you were camping and this is all you had,
you would survive.
In a prime?
Lemonade flavored.
Looks good. I'm wondering if there's any fish in that canal. Guess what I brought for dinner?
Steakers.
Steak and swordfish.
That's gonna be good. That's gonna be real good.
Look at that tent, folks. We're gonna be sleeping good tonight. I think it's time to do a little bit of fishing. But luckily for me, because I forgot my tackle box, we just went fishing the other day, so I had these little pompano floats. It'll be just enough to let me know if I got a bite. We bought some of these little hooks for trying to catch some whiting. Didn't catch any of them. So we aborted that mission, and now we're, as y'all can already see, out here camping. Got some worms, got some nippers. We're gonna see if we can't catch a fish, because I brought the crawfish traps, but we want to set them with whatever we catch out of this canal. So if we catch an old, cichlid or tilapia or something, we'll cut it up and bait the crawfish traps with it. Just an earthworm, just a little homemade rig on a little rod. Has been really cold here though recently. That's bait for our crawfish trap, a little green spotted tilapia. Perfect bait because this is a non-native fish. It shouldn't be here. Look at them. My hands are filthy though. Y'all remember me saying we were glamping?
That's a memory foam mattress.
I ordered this right here on Amazon and it is legit.
I was a little skeptical at first because when I pulled it out of the box, Looked like just a giant adult diaper, like unfolding.
It's nice though, ain't
But
it?
it's nice.
I gotta start getting some stuff ready for dinner. Luke, I'm over here trying to get some stuff ready to start filming a cooking segment, and look what Luke just caught.
I've been catching small ones. Now I got a big one. And I just found out that there's bass in there. I had some biting my bait, but they won't really get on my hook.
Let's see you catch another one. Put him in there. We need him for the crawfish traps.
Check it out. I'm tired.
Are you already ready for a nap?
These things are comfy though. We're gonna sleep good in here. And there's plenty of room for all three of us.
What do we
And
do if a big
each one
old...
of us has their own blanket, so nobody's complaining who's stealing whose cover.
You're sleeping in the middle because Luke kicks.
No, you are.
And he farts at night.
No, we're gonna have to stick him on the porch.
You guys, in these woods right here are panthers, an occasional black bear, not very many, but tons of huge wild hogs, turkeys, alligators by the cahoot. I mean, look right here. I'll walk exactly 6 feet and look at the ginormous wild hog track, and that is a biggin. See where he walked across the mud right here? Unfortunately, there's trash because people just love leaving trash, which we'll go ahead and pick this up. You can see where this hog come right in through here. And this is recent too. Look how big that hog track is. That's as big as my hand. I mean, that is a big one. Look how big that track is. I hope he comes into camp tonight. We'll be having pork chops for dinner. Even though all I have is like a knife to throw at him. We didn't bring any weapons of any kind. Except for Crystal. She can be a weapon when she's mad. For those of y'all that know Luke, you big Luke fans, he's tough. He carries around knives and lighters and hatchets and machetes. He kills hogs and deer. He won't touch a worm. I have to bait his hook, or Crystal has to bait his hook. What's up with that, Luke? Go catch one, son. Go catch one.
See that little bass right there?
There's a bass?
Yeah, see him right there?
Let me see this fish right here. So this is actually a native fish called a stump knocker, if I could get him to sit still. We're not going to use him for bait.
That's a good nickname for Luke.
Stump knocker?
Stump knocker.
That is. Can we call you Stump Knocker since we can't call you Lukey anymore?
Stump knocker. Oh, stump knocker.
This thing spoiled the hook.
People will be talking about you in 20 years from now. You remember when old Stump Knocker, he stepped on that oyster there? We went fishing yesterday, and I assure you that 99% of the parents on this planet would have called 911. Crystal and I were about 60 yards from Luke. He was on a seawall on a bridge in Stewart, and I heard him saying, "Dad, Dad, Dad," but he didn't sound distressed. And you parents know your kids say dad or mom about 8,000 times a day, so I didn't pay much attention to it. Well, finally he kept doing it long enough. I walked down there. There was a pool of blood on the ground that looked like he had killed a deer. He had cut his toe. His arms were covered in blood up to his elbows, his knees his feet all the way up to his knees, solid blood all over the concrete, and it was from one little cut. Luke's already struck out. You ready to rip some lips?
I'm ready to rip some lips.
Now that camp set up?
Give me some pole nuts there.
The question of the day is, do you want swordfish or steak?
Both.
Both.
Surf and turf.
Look at this, Crystal,
Like
come here.
elevated.
There's a baby Sasquatch that's been around here. You see that? Right here, folks. That's definitely a Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
For sure. He's even got a dog. It's probably a pet coyote. Look, have you seen these Sasquatch tracks?
There's a big one over here, Daddy.
Look, there's a deer track. Let's see what other kind of track we can find.
That one is.
What?
Big Sam.
It sort of matches your track. Deer track, dog. There should be a coon track somewhere right here.
Oh yeah, I saw something.
I don't know what the heck that is.
I might have
Oh my
made those
goodness.
scratches on the ground.
You made those scratches?
Look at that child's feet.
That's where I got my dirty feet.
What about the cut on the bottom of his foot from yesterday that I took so much time
More
doctoring?
alcohol.
Look, did that alcohol feel good that I dumped on there?
No.
See, you might think I'm tough on my chitlins, but I do take care of them. When we got home from him nearly bleeding to death, I held him down and scrubbed it out with alcohol. And I'm pretty sure it did not feel good.
Yeah, it did not.
It
feel
didn't?
Good.
Well, we're gonna have to do it again or you're gonna get swamp foot.
Oh no.
I don't know. Where are we going right now? Because that'll take a really good fishing hole.
Right up here to the culvert on the road. So Corbett area, where we're at, there's one road that goes all the way through it. It's like a loop road. It's long. And off of that road are a bunch of camps. And the whole length of the road has a canal that you just saw us fishing down it. There's tons of camps. You can spread out. And all over the place, there's little spots to stop and fish. And then you have this spot. They wonder why we walk down here. Anytime you can find structure, a culvert, a bridge, whatever that might be, there'll be a lot of fish. So the water's flowing this way, the way my rod tip's going. I want to fish on the downflow side. Don't get too close because big gators lay in these little spots. Crystal, you need to get you a topwater frog on and throw it out here.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to go back to camp, Luke, already?
Yeah.
Already?
The mosquitoes are getting better.
Uh-oh, Crystal's got a bite. Those aren't mosquitoes, son, they're gnats. Come over here, Luke. Let's try over here on this side. I think we can get one here. You got one?
You're gonna die at the color on this fish.
Dark?
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
That's because of the tannic water.
Look at the color on that fish. Oh goodness.
Luke, your bobber's moving, Luke. Oh, he come off. So one thing I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, if you follow along, you know I've been on some really, really good hunting leases. That's all fine and dandy. But one thing that comes along with private hunting leases is a lot of money. To get on that lease, it costs a ridiculous amount of money. And then once you pay that amount of money, you're only allowed a couple animals. The last one we were on, we were only allowed 2 deer. Well, I've got me, Luke, Jake, Crystal, my dad, friends, T-Bone. A lot of my good buddies helped me. That ain't gonna work. So we got off of that. What we're gonna do now, because I get a lot of comments about, why don't y'all hunt public land? Well, we're in JW Corbett, like you already know. This is where I grew up hunting. I never hunted anywhere other than here or some other tracts of public land in Florida and some in Georgia, pretty much my entire life. So we're gonna stop hunting the private leases and come back out here, start hunting Corbett, start hunting all the public lands in Florida and Georgia, and just get back to our roots. So from here on out, besides a few hog hunts at Lacey's Family Ranch and some of my other buddies' places, we're gonna start deer hunting and turkey hunting on all public land. It's just what we're gonna do. Got him, look at that. We ain't been back 2 minutes and he done got him one. These are perfect baits too for the crawfish traps. It was calling for nothing but sunshine, and now it's looking like it's gonna rain. Y'all fingers crossed it does not do that. So something else cool I want to show you guys. I ordered this off of Amazon. It was like 20 bucks. Look at that. Can't beat that. Filled it up full of hot water when we left the house, left it in the sun, hung it from this tree, and now we can take showers tonight. I won't go to bed stinking.
I'll go to bed smelling bad.
Oh, we already know that. For those of y'all that aren't from Florida, let me show you how flammable these things are right here. It's a cabbage farm. Oh, there's a lizard. Look, come here, look. Get this lizard real quick. Right there. See him? Oh, no, no. Oh, he got away. Watch this though. It's like gasoline. Uh-oh, my swordfish is about to catch on fire. Yow, that's hot. See how quick that just happened? It will only last though for about a minute, and then it'll be gone. Now you could imagine if there was a forest fire out here and it got to all these cabbage trees with their bottom limbs hanging. See these brown tips and all these brown ones right here? If a fire came through here, which you can tell it has in the past because if how black that is, that's all ash, that would ignite like crazy. There you go, Luke. One well hooked worm. And now we're hung on a log. There you go. So this wood that we brought is Australian pine and it's super, super dry. This actually looks like a little piece of oak, but the rest is Australian pine. I just got a piece of lighter knot off of that big log right there. And
I got you some bait.
that's your dinner.
No, this is bait. Please let it be bait.
Just scale him up and throw him on the open fire.
Look how cute. This is a tilapia.
Yeah, we need to get the crawfish traps out and get them ready.
We do, because it's going to be dark before long.
Hopefully it don't rain. This is getting ridiculous how many fish he's catching.
My cut's starting to hurt with all that dirt getting there.
Your cut's starting to hurt?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that was English, what he just said, babe. We just went down there. We went down there where we thought we would catch them.
Luke!
Luke said, come back down here.
Giant!
That's a tilapia, regular tilapia.
Dang. These things are actually pretty strong.
Let's see if I can do the old de-hooking trick.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you
Got
did
him.
tricks like that.
I don't know if Luke's hitting a growing spurt or what, but he looks tired now almost all day. You ready for bed?
No.
Going with a little bit of, I don't even know what this is. Himalayan pink salt. I didn't do a very good job cutting the swordfish steaks up into even pieces. On the swordfish, I'm going with Lowry's garlic salt. I'll even hit the steak with a little bit of it. But on the steak, I want me some Everglades seasoning. I love Everglades on a steak.
I noticed this with fire. If you hold it still, it's black, but if you shake it around, it starts to get that redness color.
You know why that is? Because you're feeding it more oxygen. This little grill is super nice. Just let it cook. That's all you got to do. Once it gets dark, we're going to put some headlights on. Go set up crawfish traps. But first, we need to eat a good dinner.
What in the world?
Let me show you my little dishwasher. My only complaint about this thing is you can't turn it off one-handed. So you got to set down whatever you're cleaning to turn it off. But that works. Here, you can just put it on this or hold it, whatever you got to do. Switch it, boom. Clean. Got the bar of soap right there, babe.
That is pretty dang cool.
It's pretty darn peaceful out here. I know that. I need to show them something else. This is definitely glamping. For those of y'all that follow along really well, you've seen me do a bunch of ads on these power packs. Well, guess what? I got one out here charging up my rigid battery for my saw. It's been charging for about 30 minutes and has only dropped 2%. And we got a fan for tonight, which I don't think we need because the wind's blowing. Heck, it's already almost fully charged. You can't beat that. I mean, why rough it if you don't have to? If you're in Alaska in the middle of nowhere and your boat sank and you had to swim to shore, then you can rough it. Here, we don't need to rough it. Y'all eat so much chips and dip. Y'all are gonna turn into some chips and dip.
Come and mind your business.
Mind your business.
I don't know if y'all can see that green light, but that was the surprise I was talking about earlier. It's one of my shrimping lights, and we put it in this canal, and the reason I did that is so no alligators can slip up in here and get us in our sleep. If they do, we'll see them coming. I know the camera doesn't show it that well, but in real life it's nice. The swordfish is almost done. I'm gonna put the steak on in just a minute and finish it off. I took the steak off just because the swordfish was taking a little bit longer. Look at those feet though. That's gnarly. You ready to go set the crawfish trap soon? Crystal's done lathered up with the bug spray.
I hate bug spray, but sometimes you need it.
I can hear them, but they just ain't getting on me. Well, maybe they are, a couple are. Make it quick before the bugs come. What is it though?
Good.
How many numbers?
0 out of 10. I'm just kidding. 10 out of 10.
Try the swordfish. Y'all want to see that swordfish getting caught? Crystal and her brother Myron and myself and Blake with Triple Tail Charters put the smack down on that big sword.
That day of fishing and eating this fish right now is a 10 out of 10, fellas.
Let's see what we got for dessert. Folks, we're getting ready to start doing some camping videos. And my next door neighbor just purchased a freeze dryer, not a dehydrator, a freeze dryer. Look at that, bananas. I'm not quite sure what these are yet, but look at this right here. Look at Luke's dessert he brought. So we're going over dessert right now. Like, what's the ultimate camping dessert? Check this out, folks. Check that out. That's an ice cream bar that's been freeze dried. Like beef jerky, but freeze dried. And those things are crazy good.
This right here is the ultimate. Right here.
That's like a Jello. All right, Luke, sit down. Let's talk.
Jello with fruit in it.
So they're wanting to tell scary camp stories. Can I tell a story for a second?
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be as quick as I can tell it.
Tell it fast. I mean, don't tell it fast. Just tell like a good long story.
Okay. Are you gonna be slurping
I'm
the whole
curious
time?
how he's gonna get this Jello out with no spoon.
All right. So I'm 29 years old now, plus a little bit. But
Dad,
back
you're 49 or 43.
all
Don't
right,
be lying
all
to
right.
the camera.
Sorry, 43. When I was about 16 years old, I had the most amazing work ethics ever. All I wanted to do was work. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do anything but work. As quick as I can tell you this, I decided all I wanted to do was work. So I dropped out of school. My dad found out, and my mom, and whenever my dad said, "Come here, buddy," oh gosh. Like, he's listening right now. He's watching this, probably laughing. If we heard, "Come here, buddy," we were done. So he made me sit down at the table in the kitchen. He said, "Come here, buddy, and sit down." I sat down and I thought, well, this is the end of my life. And he said, "So you want to be a man?" I said, "Yeah, I want to be a man." He goes, "You want to quit school?" I said, "Dad, all I want to do is work." At that moment, my dad could have said, "Get out of the house." He could have beat me half to death. He could have done a million things, but he said, "Okay, if you want to be a man, I tell you what, you save up $2,000 or $3,000 and I'll match it and we'll go buy you a brand new truck." And I peeled out of that house wide open. I never looked back, and I went to catching wild hogs. I did a bunch of other stuff too, but wild hogs were my main money. I could get $50 a hog. I could catch 3 or 4 or 5 a night, and that's what I did. But unfortunately, we didn't have very many legal places to go, so I had to cross the fence, you know what I mean? I had to sort of just not pay attention to the no trespassing signs, and I had to ease across the fence. But in my defense, I didn't go on anybody's land. I went on state land. We all own it. Our taxpayers pay for it. So there was this one night I was catching hogs, and I never used a flashlight because that's how you get caught, first and foremost. We didn't have cell phones, Snapchat, social media, or anything. All we had was communications was mom or dad pick me up here, or one of my buddies, but most of the time it was my parents, pick me up here at this time. I'll be back out at the road at whatever, 11 o'clock at night, you pick me up. So I would go out in the woods, catch the hogs, drag them there, get my dogs. I was catching them with my dogs. Dogs would go in the woods, find them. I'd go in there and catch them like you've seen in my videos. I'd tie them up or kill them, drag them out the side of the road. I was in the woods this one night, and there was a big cypress swamp. I don't even have any B-roll footage, so you're just gonna have to take it for what it's worth. The darkest swamp you could ever imagine in a million years. If you close your eyes, like just black dark is what it was like that night. Well, I wasn't in that swamp. I was on the outskirts, and I was almost done. I think I had 2 or 3 hogs tied down, and I heard my dog Girl, which my mom's dad gave me when I was young, and it was one of my best hog dogs. I heard her catch a hog, and my heart sunk. She was in the middle of that swamp, and I thought to myself, it's full of alligators and cottonmouths and everything else that could bite you or sting you or kill you. I couldn't leave her. So in the darkest thing I've ever imagined in my life, I had to like literally feel my way through. Like, imagine closing your eyes and just feeling your way through. I ended up getting in water that was over my chest, so I had to swim, and right out in the middle where she was at, there was a little teeny bit of moonlight, and she had the hog caught on a log somehow and way over my head water. I don't know how they ended up there, but that's where they ended up. I caught her and that hog on that log. I was able to kill the hog, which I think I drowned it. I'm not proud of that, but I didn't have a knife, so I drowned the hog. I then had to swim back through that darkness carrying the hog, because that was the ticket to my new truck, and my dog, and I got all the way out of there, and I survived that night. If you've ever been in the woods in Florida, especially a swamp, you know how eerie it can be. You can hear noises, you can hear frogs and snakes and gators, and that night, it was at least a half a mile into the dog and a half a mile back, and the only time I could see was right where the hog and the dog was. So imagine going a mile, half in and half out in the black darkness, and never leaving the hog. I drug the hog all the way out with the dog. We were all, well, me and the dog were swimming. The hog was just floating and I was dragging it. But to me, that was probably the scariest night of my entire life, and I made it out. I ended up in less than a month and a half catching enough hogs that I saved up, I think, $2,500. Dad matched it. He took me down to the Toyota dealership, I think in Stewart, and got me a brand new 1998 Toyota Tacoma 4-wheel drive. Really nice truck, and from that day forward, I never looked back. I've never drove a used truck. I've always bought brand new trucks. I've always had everything I've ever wanted. and I see YouTube comments saying, oh, it must be nice. I have commercial kingfish. I ran a bobcat for my dad for 20 years. 2 years before that, I ran it for Devasta, theirs. Dad didn't let me learn on his. He made me learn on theirs. I've worked at a sporting clay course. I've worked in restaurants. I've always worked, if not 3 jobs. Then when I started YouTube,
Done.
You ate your whole dessert that fast? When I started YouTube, I had that same mentality of just work as hard as you can. Even when you're scared and you think for sure something bad's gonna happen, just keep working. And that's how I got the hog on the scariest night ever, Luke. Could you imagine? Hold on, let me see the light, babe. Luke, imagine going to catch a hog in darkness like that. Yeah, that would be scary. Now what do you say we go set some crawfish traps?
No.
Gotta watch out for snakes when you're doing this, folks, at home. There's a little bit of current in here. One thing I'm hoping that doesn't happen is a raccoon comes and takes our trap. Anytime you're putting out crawfish traps in Florida, don't ever put the trap all the way under the water, because if an eel or a turtle gets in there, it'll die. Move down just a little ways and we're going to set trap number 2. So we didn't end up using the fish. We actually used the scraps from the swordfish that we didn't eat and some of the fat off the steak. See how I just left a little bit of the air pocket? This creek's flowing, or ditch, whatever you want to call it. It's flowing, so it's going to move that scent down a pretty good ways. I got high hopes for this one. This looks like a good spot for trap number 3. Oh, look, there's little baby garfish right there.
Whoa.
They just went out. A big alligator could catch your natural butt right here doing this. So if you do plan on doing it, be observant. The only reason I'm not really panicking right now is because it's sort of chilly. The water temp's probably low 70s. If that water temp was in the 80s, I wouldn't do this. Look, there's a gator right there. You can't see him, but his eyes are glowing. See him, babe?
Yeah.
Right there? I know the camera can't see it. There's a gator right there, not 20 yards.
He won't get our trap though, will he?
He might. Let's set the 4th trap right at camp.
He can be anywhere. He's probably in there. Oh, I think I saw. What color was he wearing?
This is not cool. After all of our scary stories. Gabe?
Oh, is he behind us?
Gabe, for real, come out. Oh. Gabe. I'm scared the whole campground.
Trap number 4 is going to go right here at camp. Where's that machete at, Luke?
Machete.
We had it somewhere. Might be over there in the tree. I'll pin it down with that just so something can't steal it. For a 100% fact, there will be an alligator here at some point tonight, and if he smells the oil coming out of that swordfish, he'll take that whole trap with him.
I don't trust you.
Nah.
Come on, I won't do it.
Looks like you have rabies.
That's clean. Hey! Well, boys and girls, it's about that time. Have you ever had a fan in a tent?
No, princess.
Listen, folks, this is my side of the bed. You know why I have this? If a coyote or a werewolf or a bear tries to get in here, maybe they'll come through there, they'll stick their head in that fan.
Oh, no. What was that? No. What was that outside?
You need to shut that so no snakes can get in here. What is that noise?
I don't know. I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of big creatures out here in these woods.
I'm getting in the middle, okay? If it breaks in here, then it's gonna come.
We need to zip that up all the way though, because we just saw a snake out there.
We
And
did
I'm
just
not
see a
trying
snake
to-
out there. What if that snake slithers in here?
I'm out.
Where are you going? We're in the woods.
Out.
Crystal, if it slithers in here, then I'm gonna use it as a stuffed animal.
All right, we'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning, Lukey Pookie. Oh wait, I forgot I wasn't supposed to call you that. Babe. What was, did y'all just hear that? Something splashed in the ditch. Crystal Beachy, how'd you sleep?
I slept good.
Luke, did you sleep good? I guess nobody's gonna talk. It's time to get up. It's time to rise and shine. Y'all hear that hog walk through camp last night?
I think there's a hog walking through camp right now.
Oh man. All right, it's time to get up. Let's see what creatures got our stuff. See the little floor mat I made last night? That fan ran all night long. I charged my rigid battery for my saw and then something else too, I can't remember. It's still at 70%. I'm gonna need to go to the chiropractor today. Fire's still going good. I heard more bullfrogs last night than I've ever heard in my life out there. We're gonna go gig some frogs here soon. Next couple nights, once we get caught up with what we're doing, we're going to get some frogs. If you pay attention to the beginning of the video, this log was here when we got here. And it is still burning. I know light or not lasts a long time, but that one right there has lasted the longest I've ever seen. Oh yeah. And we got fire. See, the difference between a woman and a man is I'm over here building fire. Crystal's got her toothbrush in her hand. Ain't nobody got to worry about stinky teeth out here. We're in the woods. Luke, you ready for some clam chowder this morning?
That sounds so good.
Luke's starving, y'all, and the only thing we have is, I think that's raviolis or SpaghettiOs and clam chowder. Cheers. There is no better way to start the day than a cold dew. I think while breakfast is warming up, we'll go pull some crawfish traps. Last night, right before we went to bed, with the light on, we could see an eel swim up. I don't know if he went in the trap or not. You could just see him out there by the light. And then not too long after that, a big snake swam up. So I'm curious to see what's in him. Crystal's way down there. She's been fishing already. You think she peeked in the traps?
Probably.
Probably. We just walked way down there looking for the trap and it's right here. Look, we sort of overshot our landing. This grass right here is what you call saw grass. It's crazy sharp. Come over here on this side. Remember, we walked down on this little buggy track. You can tell they got brave and backed their buggy down in here.
I don't see a lot of fish. I see mosquito fish.
Anything? I don't see much of anything in this one.
I see a little crawdad down there, I think.
For real? Oh, there's some fish in there. Let's see.
There's some fish in there.
Couple.
Bunch of minnows.
I can tell you that old swordfish wasn't the best bait. That's the coolest fish that was in that trap, a bluegill. Yeah, I'm not even looking at the trap. All I'm looking for is alligators. All right, pull it up. Uh-oh.
Jackpot.
Much bigger stuff in this trap.
Is that a cichlid?
I don't know. Let's put it in this bucket and find out, though.
Two big fish.
Look at all the little minnows. If you were out here fishing and needed some live bait and you had these crawfish traps, even this would be a good live bait for a bass. Peacock bass would destroy those things, and these are what you call mosquito minnows. Look at that, that's a pretty good catch.
Dang good catch.
On to the next. I just asked Crystal if she wanted to pull this one, and she remembered last night that this is where the snake was. Now, we have caught snakes in these traps, but never alligators. That was definitely a first. Real quick before we pulled the trap, this is the light that you can see shining in the water last night. It's our shrimping light. That's what we use it for. I figured last night it'd be super cool to bring out here and put in this canal. Never go camping without your machete. But we didn't put it in a tent last night, Luke. What would have happened if a bear would have came?
We would all be dead.
I am very, very, very surprised that we didn't catch an eel. Especially after seeing that eel last night and he didn't get in the trap. A bunch of mosquito minnows. Look at all those minnows, Luke. One thing I've learned with these traps is always take your time and clean them really well before you store them away. Because the next time you use them, they will stink. Breakfast is served, Lukey Dookie. Sorry, Luke or Luke.
It smells good.
Bon appetit. Pretty good clam chowder?
Yes, it's the best.
Luke, can I tell you a story? Me and Gene Caldwell were out here deer hunting one time, and he texted me and said, big buck coming straight at you. I was eating clam chowder out of a can in my tree stand when he texted me that, and I had to forfeit the whole can of clam just to kill the deer. Would you have done that?
What does forfeit mean?
I had to just set it down and spill it out of my stand to get my bow up to shoot the deer.
Oh, that's bad. No.
You wouldn't have done that? I'll never forget that. It was opening day of early teal season, which is also bow season here. I had a can of clam chowder because we had duck hunted that morning super early. We were deer hunting in the evening, and he texted me and said, big buck, and I had a can of clam chowder and had nowhere to set it. On a climbing tree stand that has rails like this, I just laid it down and it spilled out. I was starving, but we got the deer. Tangling with these memory foam things, it's like wrestling a bear. They'll get compact, but you gotta wrestle with it. You want these in the front seat, I reckon. All right, all we got left to do is break the tent down. This thing right here, believe it or not, the only reason I brought it was I knew we didn't have good phone service out here, and I wanted to be able to charge our phones and whatnot, not have to worry about the truck, because if the battery died in the truck, we'd really be screwed. We lit that log yesterday when we got here at about 4 o'clock. It burned all night, all the way up to now. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's still probably, I bet it only burned half the log. The next person that comes along will start it back up and it'll keep going. There's the rest of it over there. I just cut one more sliver off of it last night, but that particular piece has been going for a while.
Hot water's boiling on there. It's gotten awfully hot out here today.
And the wind's howling.
The wind just picked up in like the last 15 minutes.
So Crystal's dad flies planes during the summer up in Oregon and California, doing nothing but looking for wildfires, and most of them are all started from campfires. If you come to a campsite, there'll always be trash, but pick it up and take it with you and leave it like we're leaving this one, cleaner than when we got here. You'll always find beer cans and beer bottles and water bottles, little teeny pieces. It all counts. That's it for this video though, folks. We went camping. Luke's excited to go home. His mom's picking him up and he's going to the fair. Crystal and I are gonna go to either Georgia or she's gonna mount a deer tomorrow. We don't know yet. We gotta figure that out depending on the weather.
We didn't make that much trash. We burnt a lot of our trash. That's not trash.
Yeah. We'll catch y'all in the next one.